What's going on, Mother Truckers? Welcome to the TheAsianMaiShow. Today we got a crazy little interview for you. This is a fun one. I saw this, man. I mean, they say big is better in more ways than one, but I'm telling you right now, this is some cool shit right here. And so I got the driver that's gonna give us some information about this, because we always see this as truckers, but we don't know what it's about. So let me jump behind the scenes so we could get a little bit of info. So was the weight of this one piece right here, sir?
So the weight of that one piece is 155,000 pounds.
Damn.
The gross weight on the truck is about 258,000. To do the math on that, our empty weight's 103,000 pounds.
That's
if you can
crazy.
imagine that being empty.
Empty.
15 feet wide and about 15.6, 15.8 high, depending on where we've got the trailer set. So you've got to raise up to go over railroad tracks and humps so you don't drag it on the ground. You've got to stop, get out, raise it up, go over the tracks, lower it back down, go down the road each time. And then the overall length on it's 145 feet plus or minus a couple.
I want everybody to put their hands together for me.
Hey, brother.
How you doing?
Good. So let me know, man. We do trucking, but this shit right here is trucking. Can you tell me just a little bit of information about how much weight, or you know, what kind of skill level or what you need to do in this industry to even get into something like this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just comes down to really common sense as a superpower in this. You got to surround yourself with good pilot cars that know what they're doing. You got a lead car out front of you with a high pole, so you make sure you don't hit anything overhead of you. And we're 15.8 tall, so you got to make sure and watch bridges. We got to go down routes that the states give us. We don't have any power over the route, so if you see us on a road where you don't think we're supposed to be, we got to be there. You know, little skinny roads, that's where they try and keep us. So you got a car out front, you got a car in the back. The trailer steers itself on the back end. When you go around a corner, it'll follow what the front half's doing, and it hydraulically steers itself around each corner. We got 13 axles on the ground, 18,000 pounds on the front axle, 20,000 pounds on the rest of them. We're grossing about 258,000 pounds. That piece itself weighs 155,000.
155,000?
155,000 pounds.
So the total weight, you say one more time?
The gross weight is about 258.
258.
Yeah.
So what happens if you pop one tire?
Well, you got to pull over quick and get it changed. We keep spares on the back of the trailer. We got, I started this trip out with 6 or 7 spares, and I'm down to 5 of them now.
Wait up.
We change tires a lot.
So you don't have to say where it's going from or anything like that, but how many miles was the total trip? And you said you had 6 tires and now you only got 2 left, so you're used to this. So people that do heavy hauling like this expect the tires to pop?
You're constantly, these trailers wear tires out like crazy. The way they turn, as much weight as you got on them, they'll start to cup. They go bad quick. You're always on the rumble strips trying to move over for people. You pick stuff up. You're picking metal out of them every day. So
wow.
it's going, this load, the total miles on it's going to be somewhere around 1,500 miles. We've gone 900 so far and been under it for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks?
For 2 weeks. 2
weeks to go 900 miles?
Yeah, we spent 4 days waiting on Missouri permits, and we're sitting here because of a holiday weekend. We're here for 3.5 days, and we've got an issue with our Illinois permit now, the routing on it, so we've got to reroute, and that takes a couple extra days, so we'll be here at least another day or 2.
Wow, so 900 miles, usually for a normal driver, that's a day and a half, right?
Yeah.
Driving.
Yep.
And so for this, it's over 2 weeks. It could take up to 3 weeks.
If we got a good day where everything goes real smooth with the weight, you know, you're on good flat ground, you can do about 400 miles.
Really?
Yeah, if you're on good flat ground, you start getting in rolling hills and that, and you're down to about 8 miles an hour on every hill.
8 miles an hour on every hill?
Yep.
And is it normal that you guys travel in packs? Like today I see you guys in packs, a pack of 3, right?
Yeah, that depends on the states. Some states will let us convoy up to 5 trucks, like Texas, they'll let us convoy through there. But most states we can't convoy. So that first truck, he'll leave, 15, 20 minutes later, the second one will leave. 15, 20 minutes later, the third one will leave. We've got to maintain a minimum of a half-mile distance between each other usually.
Wow. And so if your tires are popping, they gotta wait. Their tires are popping, then you gotta wait.
we hope that we catch that early. You know, you got to do a really good pre-trip inspection on everything.
Right.
If you're going to have an issue with a tire, you resolve it before you're sitting on the side of the road somewhere blocking traffic. You know, so you would get tires changed right here in the lot, as opposed to waiting for one to blow out on the road.
No, I hear you. So my biggest thing about this is, you know, can a driver like myself, you know, we drive just a 53 foot, right?
Right.
And sometimes you do too.
Once in a while.
Most of the while, right?
Yeah.
Would you encourage someone to get into something like this? Because I feel like I'd be nervous about it. What would be the biggest difference? Would it be just the how cautious you have to be?
Yeah, you've got to be 100% comfortable with what you're doing. You've got to be 100% comfortable in everything that you do. You've got to just relax. If you're in a snowstorm, you know, with your regular truck, you just got to relax, right? You got to not freak out. You got to keep a nice level head on you, and just become one with the piece of equipment. You got to be smooth shifting. You got to be smooth braking. So you treat these loads as if you're on a snowstorm in the middle of Wyoming. You know what I mean?
I hear
everything you got to shift smooth. You got to be smooth on the clutch. You got to be smooth on the brakes. You got to be smooth on lane changes. You just got to be smooth. Once you've accomplished that skill set with a regular truck, then you can start out doing little or oversized stuff. You know, hauling equipment, hauling bulldozers, going to 10 foot wide, 12 foot wide, and you just work your way up from there. You know, the more comfortable you get with each load, you just move up a little bit from there. But that's the biggest secret that I can tell you is just be comfortable with it. Be calm with it. Don't, you know, keep a level head on you.
Man, that's some great advice. So usually, would you say that someone with how many years of experience can usually jump into something like this?
No, I think you got to come up from it. I mean, you can, you know, a good driver, you can tell is a good driver, he can probably get right in there and figure it out. But you know, you come out of a school and you got no prior experience, your family's never done it, you got no background in it, you're not going to just get in one of these and go down the road with it.
Yeah, I can imagine it's going to take some years.
For everybody, it's different. For me, I've been very fortunate and been able to come into it at a young age, and so far, as a blessing, be successful at it, you know. But it varies for everybody. It depends. It's common sense is $1 million. You know, man, common sense is $1 million.
You're giving me all the diamonds and gems today, brother. And before the last question, what kind of engine, you know, do you need to have? What kind of equipment do you need to have to be able to pull something that's 150,000 or 250,000 gross weight?
So really it comes down to torque more than horsepower, right? Horsepower sells a motor, torque is how fast. Horsepower is how fast you hit the wall. Torque is how far you move the wall, right? You heard that saying. So it's just a 565 Cummins. It was backed by an 18-speed with a 2-speed auxiliary transmission. So you double your 18-speed, and it's got about 411 gears in it. They might even be a little higher than that, to tell you the truth. I'd have to look.
No.
But so the truck's gear bound at about 68 mile an hour. That's all the faster it'll run.
Right.
But you've got the ability, once you drop into low range, you're gear bound at about 32 mile an hour, but you can climb almost any hill there is.
Man.
So you got 2 transmissions that you're running all the torque through to the rear ends.
Man, I'm thinking going downhill. I'm getting nervous already for you. What gear are you in when you're going downhill?
It depends on how steep the hill is. You know, that's kind of one of the good things about Cummins is they've got good jakes on them.
Yeah, they do.
And I'll tell you what, most of the hills, the jakes will hold it pretty well. If you come, you know, the old rule of coming down the hill and a couple gears lower than you went up it, you just kind of treat it like that, you know. But it depends on the hill. You can come down a hill at 50 mile an hour if it's not a big one, you know.
Right.
But if you're up in the mountains or something like that, you're just crawling.
I hear you.
You just crawl. And we've got disc brakes all the way around on everything. This trailer actually doesn't have disc brakes. It's a little bit older trailer, but the truck's got disc brakes all the way around, and that helps to hold you a lot better too.
Man, that's amazing.
Just slow and steady wins the race in this business.
I'm thinking, so when you exit, is it really a football field that you're gonna have to start braking?
Oh yeah. We'll start you know, if we got to get off for a bridge, we'll start getting in the jakes and slowing down a mile ahead of it.
So a mile ahead, you got to start slowing down.
If somebody pulled out in front of me and I had to mat the brakes, I couldn't even think of the time it'd take to stop. It's well over a quarter mile.
Are you saying there are some four-wheeler idiots that would still try and get in front of these trucks?
Oh yeah, they freak out. And that's the problem with any oversized load. People panic when they pass you.
I do agree with
panic.
that. I do.
They don't know what to do with it. They'll get out there, they'll stay next to you, they'll stay next to you, they'll stay next to you, and then they finally decide to go ahead and pass you. Just get around it. You know, just come out, come around the load. It ain't no different really than anything else. Just do what you need to do and move around it.
I heard that, brother. You know? And then the last myth buster for you.
What's that?
Us truckers going down, we see you. We're thinking these loads pay $1 million.
No.
Is it true or not true?
No, they pay really good, but what you got to keep in mind is the cost of this equipment.
Okay.
There's a huge overhead cost to this.
Can you break down a little bit of it? What like it costs?
Figure you got this truck right here.
Right.
Is about a $300,000 truck.
Yes, sir.
This trailer, I don't have any idea what it cost when it was new, but most of our trailers are between $300,000 and $500,000.
$500,000 for a trailer.
Yeah. So you've got astronomical payments on it. A normal truck, you're going to get 6 miles to a gallon. We get between 1 and 2 miles to a gallon.
I love hearing that.
Your fuel costs are through the roof. You know, you make money on them, yes, but you don't get rich on them. Same as anything else in the business. You know, you just gotta figure out how to keep your expenses low, and that'll maximize your profit.
No, this is amazing. No, I appreciate you so much for this little interview, and the kind of, I guess, freight that you're hauling. We're always seeing on the road is mostly having to do with like something with solar power. Most of the time, this big heavy haul, I'm always seeing the windmill wings.
Right.
You know.
So that's what this is a piece of. This is the base for those wind towers. This is the bottom section of that tower.
How many sections make that? Because
usually
this looks like
3.
3.
Yeah. Usually there's 3. Usually there's a base and a mid and a top, and then the nacelle. That's the generator. Goes on top of that, they bolt the hub to it, and then they bolt the wings to the hub.
Wow, no. Well, overall, no, thank you so much. For this. I think a lot of truckers like myself, this is just a different world.
Sure.
And so just getting this little information and hearing just how much weight it is and how far you have to brake, it's just kind of cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
I heard that, brother. I appreciate you, man.
All right, man.
Hell yeah,
Thanks.
hell yeah. You know.